cold, gray morning, Jack went alone into the mountainous forest where he had hunted for more than 20 years. He knew every trail, every tree, and every natural sound within it. He was not someone who frightened easily. He had faced wolves and bears, and spent entire nights sleeping under the rain without a fire. But that day was not like the others. Jack arrived before sunrise. The air was unnaturally still. Even the birds were silent. He carried his rifle, checked the ammunition, and ventured deep into the forest. From the very first moments, he noticed something strange. There were no animal tracks, no deer, no rabbits. Even insects were nearly absent. He thought to himself, maybe it's just the weather. He continued walking, but a heavy feeling began to creep into his chest. It was a feeling old hunters knew well. The feeling that you are being watched at noon. He heard the sound of branches snapping behind him. He turned quickly and raised his rifle. Nothing but the sound came again. Closer this time. He shouted loudly. "Who's there?" No one answered. What was strange was that the sound wasn't like an animal walking, but like something trying to imitate walking. Jack decided to change his location, but when he tried to head back, he realized he was lost. The path he had taken was gone, as if the forest had rearranged itself. As afternoon approached, a foul odor began to spread through the area. Not the smell of a dead animal, but the stench of old, rotting flesh. He followed the smell cautiously until he reached an open clearing. There, he saw something that froze the blood in his veins. A deer, hanging from a tree, not torn apart by a predator, but carefully suspended. Its belly opened cleanly, the way humans do. The strangest part was that the deer wasn't fresh, yet there were no insects around it. The sun began to set at an unusually fast pace. The shadows stretched, and the sound suddenly returned. Whispers, footsteps, close, breathing. He heard a voice behind him. His name, Jack. The voice was faint and hoarse, as if coming from a throat unused to speech. He turned slowly, his rifle trembling in his hands. He saw a very tall shadow among the trees, a human shape, but its limbs were far too long, and its neck bent at an unnatural angle. When it moved, its feet didn't step. It slid across the ground. Jack ran with all his strength. Behind him, he heard footsteps, but more than one set. He tripped, fell, and quickly turned to fire a shot. He hit the shadow, but instead of falling, a sound like muffled laughter emerged, and then it began moving faster. Jack hid inside a small cave he had known for years. He sat there, holding his breath. Outside the cave, a voice spoke clearly this time. "You hunt, and now it's your turn." When the sun rose, rescuers found Jack at the edge of the forest. It was alive, but his hair had turned completely white. His rifle was broken, and his eyes stared into nothingness. He never spoke again.